Hey everybody, Lee with LG Speed and Custom, and on this video we're going on a 1,000-kilometer road trip in my 1947 Ford in December. But first, we're going to give it a little maintenance and a once-over. So yeah, we're going on another road trip. You guys have always expressed how much you love our road trip videos, especially the one where we did the Sunshine Coast in the 47 Ford. So we thought, let's do another one. This time we're going on a 1,000-kilometer round trip of the Olympic Peninsula. We live in Victoria, which is on the south tip of Vancouver Island. So we can catch a ferry, the Coho Ferry, over to Port Angeles, Washington, and from there we're going to drive down through Olympia, all the way to Portland. The only reason we're going to Portland is two of my favorite bands, X and Lost Straitjackets, are touring right now, so we're going to go down to Portland and see them. Then make our way back up along the Highway 101. We're going to go across the Astoria Bridge. We're going to stop in Aberdeen, maybe drive by Kurt Cobain's house and bother his parents. I don't even know if they're still alive. I don't know if we'll actually do that or not. I'm not a huge Nirvana fan, but I mean, who knows how big Aberdeen is. Maybe that's all there is to do there. And then we'll continue up Highway 101 all the way back to Port Angeles and catch the ferry back to Victoria. So it is about 1,000 kilometers, and it's December right now, so it's chilly, but we've got heat, we've got wipers, we've got flathead Ford for power, so why not? Let's do it. Before we go, there's a couple, I just want to give the car like a once over and fix a couple little things. It doesn't need a ton. For those that regularly watch the videos that Shannon and I do, we just had this car in here a month ago and kind of gave it a once over then. So I just want to check the transmission fluid, rear end fluid. The gas pedal has come loose, so it's kind of like as you're driving, it's flopping around a little bit. So we'll button that up. One thing I've always wanted to do to this car, but haven't done it yet, is we're going to put a 12-volt power source in so that when we are on our road trips, when we did the Sunshine Coast tour, we had cameras running and mics and stuff like that, and we had no way to charge anything while we were driving, so we just have to hope that everything stayed alive during the day and then charge it all up in the motel at night. So hopefully this will fix that. We're going to throw a spare tire, maybe a couple tools in it, vacuum it out. Doris, our dog, she's losing her summer coat right now, so there's dog fur everywhere. So we're gonna vacuum the car out and then hit the highway. It is Thursday morning right now. Normally I'm supposed to be working, but Shannon, she works evenings on Thursdays, and right now this is the only car that, because we got our common apart right now, so she drives the car to work. So tonight, after work, the car won't be here, so I can't do any of this. So I snuck a couple hours off this morning. We're gonna button this all up, and then Friday, which is tomorrow, we gotta be at the ferry at 8:30 in the morning. So let's get to it. I think we're gonna start with cleaning this thing out. Vacuum it all out, and that way it's nice and fresh and clean inside, because this is disgusting.
Let some air from the tires, gotta get more traction. Headed down the strip to try and find this clown. Some greaser in a Chevy was making some noise, so I said to the dude, you better hang on, boys. Lined them up at the lights and we started to lay it down.
So here's our gas pedal issue we have to fix. See how it's flopping around like this? So the way it bolts to the floor, most gas pedals have like a little hinge with two bolts that go through. This particular style only has one bolt that goes through. So what I think has happened is over the last year and a half since I put this car together, that one bolt just kind of came loose a little bit, so it's just rocking back and forth. I'm hoping that's what it is. The other thing it could be is sometimes that hinge will actually kind of come apart and break. And this is a reproduction gas pedal, meaning it's pretty cheap quality, so there's a very good chance that could happen too. Hopefully that's not what happened, but all we can do is take it apart and see it. Hopefully we can fix it. If we can't, I mean, it's been like this for a few months now, so we can probably live with it for this trip and then come up with a plan B another day. But we'll pull the carpet back and see what's in there. So that ended up being a pretty easy fix. It just was the bolt was loose, and I didn't even have to pull the carpet back. I was able to just wiggle this screwdriver in there enough to get onto it. It's just a big flat blade one. So Shannon actually, she came down and operated this side, and I held a wrench on the nut on the other side. So now we can hook this part back up. Or is this bent? This might be bent now. There we go. We'll just straighten that back out. There we go. There we go. We got acceleration. Our Lady of Blessed Acceleration. Please don't fail me now. Okay, moving along. Next thing on the list.
Breaking the law. I don't care what you heard or what you think you saw. I'm always tearing it up all over town. So if you're high on yourself, I'm gonna bring you down. So shut your mouth and stop that squawk.
So this 12-volt source should be pretty easy. I just took the original cigarette lighter out, the old 6-volt one, and I'm just replacing it with this new 12-volt one. You know, I never even tested this one. It might have worked. I don't know if a 6-volt lighter will work on 12-volt or not. I've never tried. It's pretty crusty though. It's probably easier to hook this one up. So this is cool because we don't have to build brackets or drill any holes in the dash or anything. Just got to run a simple ground wire and power wire. On my Roadster, I screwed up when I put this in, and it's hooked up to key power, which sucks because the only time you can charge your phone is if the key is on. And if you're like, your phone's dead and you're gonna go in a restaurant or something, you can't just like leave your phone in the car and let it charge up while you're gone. So this I'm gonna hook up to constant power, so it always has 12 volts to it, and that way you can leave stuff charged up overnight. Okay, that is in. Let's run a couple wires. All right, underneath here, so we've got our ground. I just grounded to the bottom of the dash here, and then I ran this purple wire, a power wire, through my harness here over to the fuse panel. I built this fuse panel myself. I wired this whole car from scratch. So hold on, let's get this light situated here. Okay, stay. So here's our main battery source here. And from here, we've got our constant fuse panel. So all these fuses have constant power to them, and that's for stuff like the headlights, the brake lights. What else is on here? I can't remember. But yeah, stuff that needs power all the time. So from here, we've got another wire that runs over to this relay here marked key. Now when I turn the key on, you can hear that relay clicking, probably not. But yeah, when that relay powers up, it sends power to this fuse panel, and that's for all our keyed power stuff, such as like the heater, wipers, stuff like that. So our purple wire is sitting right here. I've got a 10 amp fuse. So we'll put our fuse in, and now we should have power. Let's take, this is one of the mics that I use. So cool. So now we can charge up our phones and mics and cameras and stuff like that. moving along. I think all that's left is the part I've been avoiding, jacking the car up, and we'll check the transmission fluid, gear oil. It's not ATF, it's just straight gear oil. Same with the rear end. We'll check that, make sure it's still full. They should be full, but I mean, everything on this car has a slight drip to it. This is an unrestored car, so, and I mean, that being said, my Roadster is fully restored and it drips. Old cars just drip. That's just the way they are, or at least my cars. So yeah, we'll make sure that it hasn't completely dripped out. We'll check the engine oil, throw a spare tire in it, and then I think we're good. All right, let's see how our transmission fluid. Oh yeah, we got fluid in there. It's running down the side. You know, it's not very good looking, but it's in there. And you know what? Ugly fluid's better than no fluid. Or oil, gear oil. Okay, transmission's good. Moving on to the rear end. I did just notice we've got no bushings left on our shift linkage here. So, yeah, we'll worry about that another day, I think. We don't need to shift where we're going. Back at the rear end, what do we got? Well, it's not running out. Let's do the old finger. Uh-oh, I got my finger stuck. Okay, there's nothing on my finger. Oh, maybe. I thought I felt it. Let's do another dip here. Yeah, okay, we gotta put a little bit of gear oil in the rear end, which, you know, with the spring pack here, that'll be nice and easy. All right, to fill this thing up, I've got this little syringe thing with a hose on it, so we can suck some fluid in, stick this in the hole, and then squeeze it in. Hopefully it works. I don't think it needs much. I don't think it's that low. Okay, let's give this a try. I hate gear oil so much. Stuff that in the hole. Oh yeah, that's working. Just getting oil everywhere. That was very messy, but it's full now. Let's check the engine vitals here. Survey says full. Yeah, this car never uses oil. It's incredible. And check the ice cube juice. It's down a little bit. It's about right there. It'll probably be fine. Okay, wipe the dust off here. Can't go down the road with dusty engine. All right, I think we're good. Just throw the spare tire in and rock and roll. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning. We are down at the Victoria Inner Harbor at Blackball Ferries waiting for the Coho Ferry to arrive so that we can catch the ferry over to Port Angeles, Washington. Once we get to Port Angeles, we've got about a 4.5, probably 5-hour drive because we're in an older car down to Portland. The sun's trying to come out, but I think it's going to be a wet day, but that doesn't concern us because we have wipers. There's two modern upgrades on this car. It has a Power Master Power Gen. It's a fake generator that looks like an alternator, so that's one upgrade that's been done to it, and it has Newport electric wipers put into it. So 2 upgrades, that's it. The wipers is the most important one. So if it starts raining, we'll just turn the wipers on. The Coho it's one of my favorite ferries to ride. This ship was built in 1959, and much like cars from that era, it's just got so much style and character. You know, it was built in a time when style was just as important as function. So it's about a 90-minute ride, ferry ride. Port Angeles is only 38 kilometers from Victoria. In fact, when you're on the shore, you can actually see it, especially at nighttime, and you can just see all the lights of Port Angeles. So, but I mean, boats are kind of slow, so to go 38 kilometers still takes an hour and a half, and then we'll have to go through customs again when we get there, so probably about 2 hours before we're in Washington State. All right, we're in Port Angeles, Washington right now. We've made it through customs, and we just stopped at Safeway to drop off a dropped axle. Bruce Donnellan's dad, Rod Donnellan, he's got a 46 Ford convertible, and I dropped an axle for him. So we just dropped it off, and Bruce's mom, Pat, made us a care package of food. So that's great, because I'm starving. From here, we're heading to Olympia, Washington. Shannon wants to pick up some stuff at a store in Olympia. I don't remember what store we're going to. But we're going to a store in Olympia and then to Portland from there. So far, the rain's held off. The sun has not come out, but it's not raining, so we'll take it. We're gonna hit the highway. We've made it to Olympia, Washington. It started pouring maybe like 10 minutes outside of Port Angeles and poured almost the whole way, except for at one point where it stopped raining and started snowing. So glad to have the rain back, because I'd rather have rain than snow. The car's been running great so far. We've stopped at the store that Shannon wanted to go to. I guess we don't have that store in Canada. I've never heard of it before. So yeah, we're fueling up. We're gonna get a little snack and then hit the road again. We got 2 more hours to go to Portland, our destination for this evening.
Second guess those things you do, I can tell. Should it be right when I sing as well? Oh, I've got a sweet girl.
Welcome to Portland. It's soggy here. Well, we made it into Portland last night. It was from Olympia to Portland. Have you guys all seen Forrest Gump? You know when Lieutenant Dan's on the shrimp boat and they're in the big storm and he's all like swearing at God and stuff. This isn't a storm. You call this a storm? That's what we drove through last night. It was like an absolute monsoon. All over the Pacific Northwest, I guess. Back home in Victoria, I guess Shannon's mom and some of her friends, they had no power all evening. So, but you know what? This car, it didn't care. It just chugged along right through it. We did like 60, 65 miles an hour the whole way, wipers going. It was fine. So we made the show last night. Great show. Lost Straitjackets. So good. Of course, X, as always, for those that aren't music fans, X was like, they never ever got like radio famous, but all your favorite bands that you listen to on the radio, they listen to X. Great show by them. Totally made the whole trip worth it. We are going to check the oil to make sure that we're still full of oil. I'm sure it will be. And from there, we're going to get some food right now. Going to hit a Harbor Freight because I was down a little bit. Might have to get some oil for it. But yeah, we don't have Harbor Freight in Canada. We have Princess Auto. And while it's like almost the same thing, you can't get a bag of 100 zip ties for 99 cents there. So we're going to stock up on shop towels and zip ties, stuff like that. And then we're going to head towards Astoria. Go check out the Goonies. Hey, you guys.
I see a red door and I want to paint it black. No colors anymore, I want them to be black. I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love both gathered to the night. I see people turn their heads, quickly walk away, like a newborn baby, it just happens every day. I look inside myself and see my world is black. Oh, I see a red door, I want to paint it black.
We've just made it to Astoria. And we're at the Goonies house. No cars. We're gonna head across the Astoria Bridge now and make our way towards Aberdeen.
Yeah, we gotta find the seals first.
Here we go. Wow, what a bridge. Look at the view from up here.
And I won't paint it black. I know colors anymore, I want them to be black. I see girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. Why have to turn my head until my darkness goes?
We've made it to Aberdeen. So far, everything's going just as cool as a cucumber. No issues at all. We just had something to eat, and now we're heading over to the Kurt Cobain Memorial Bridge. I guess there's a bridge that he used to hang out at when he was a kid, and there's a memorial underneath it, so we'll go check it out. After that, we got about 3 hours to Port Angeles, and that's where we'll catch the ferry back across. There's Kurt Cobain's family home. Oh, look at that cool house, though. I'd live there.
Well, I see a red top and I want to paint it black. I know colors anymore, I want them to be black. I see girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. Well, I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. Ah, you gonna take me home tonight? Ah.
We're in Forks, Washington right now, which is like what, halfway between Aberdeen and Port Angeles. So we just stopped for fuel. It kind of quit raining, I think, maybe.
It's misty.
It's misty.
It's misty.
It's misty.
Yeah.
So we've got about an hour to go to Port Angeles. So let's do it. It's dark.
Yes.
Not wearing sunglasses.
No.
Not like the Blues Brothers.
Hey! Well, I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad. I knew life before I left my dungarees. Left alone with Big Fat Penny, she was.
We're in Port Angeles right now, and we're at some memorial park. We want to drive down to the water to see if you can see. I've always wanted to see what Victoria looks like, and I don't think you're supposed to actually have a car down here. No, you're not, which means we have to back all the way up this crazy windy hill. Oops. So here's the we just drove down, and I think we can back into there to turn around and drive all the way back up here. You know, they should put a sign that says no cars if they don't want cars to come down here.
You got a couple more feet.
Okay, get in. Let's go do some hoodlum stuff.
Hey! Well, I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad. I knew life before I left my dungarees. Left alone with Big Fat Penny, she was such a naughty nanny. Big hip woman, you made a bad boy out of me. Now I'm singing with my band, cross the wires, cross the land. I feed every blue-eyed bluesy along the way.
All right, one last stop before we head back home. We gotta go to the grocery store to get all the fun and stupid stuff that you can't get in Canada. Well, what is all this stuff? I've never seen these before. Gotta get some of those. Baby Shark Funnables. What's a Funnable? Baby Shark doo 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 doo. What is it?
Fruit Loops with marshmallows.
Let's throw it in the cart. Better get some of these too. We do have these at home, but they're like $6 each. Black cherry Pepsi. Better try that. Gotta get some squeezed cheese. There's only 3 cans left in the whole store, and it's only the American one. Cheddar's the best. Well, we might as well get all 3. I was watching The Vulgar Chef the other day, and he was injecting pierogies with this stuff, so probably should try that. All right, thank you for watching this episode of Shopping in America with Lee and Shannon. Good morning. It is early o'clock on Sunday. So our original plan was to catch the 9:30 ferry back to Victoria last night. But about halfway through the day yesterday, Shannon realized that the Black Ball Ferry line has switched to winter hours, which means the last ferry was at 2 o'clock. So we just got a hotel here in Port Angeles last night, and now we're catching the first ferry over in the morning. So it's actually not that early, it's just dark because it's wintertime. It's like 7:20 something right now. So we'll be home to see Doris in a couple hours.
Are you gonna let it all hang out? Fat bottom girls, you make this rockabilly world go round. Hey! Well, I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad. I knew life before I left my dungarees. Left alone with Big Fat Penny, she was such a naughty nanny. Big hip woman, you made a bad boy out of me. Now I'm singing with my band, cross the wires, cross the land. I've seen every blue-eyed floozy along the way. But their beauty and their style went kind of smooth after a while. Take me to those lovely ladies every day. Sing it. Ah, you gonna take me home tonight. Ah, down beside that red fire line. Oh, you gonna let it all hang out. That bottom girls, you make this rockabilly world go round. Hey, hey.
And when the whistle blows, you need to go below, because that's the signal that the fun is nearly over. May I have your attention, please?
Fat bottom girls, you make this rockabilly world go round. Fat bottom girls, you make this rockabilly world go round.
That's not for you.
Hi, puppy dog. Hi, puppy dog.
Are you so happy? Did you have so much fun?
Cool, we made it home. 1,000-kilometer round trip in the winter in an unrestored 47 Ford. What kind of problems did we have? Nothing. 1 liter of oil. That's it. So, but I mean, we weren't expecting to have any problems because why would we? That's what this car is built for. Cars are, I've talked about this a lot on this channel. And my philosophy with cars is these aren't art pieces. They're not supposed to go to car shows. They're not supposed to sit in museums. They're adventure machines. They're meant to take you around, you know, like Chevrolet always said, see the USA in your Chevrolet. Well, we did it in a 47 Ford, not a Chevrolet, but the point is these cars they're meant to drive, they're meant to go places. They're utilitarian. They have a purpose, and that is to drive. So drive your cars. You do not need the latest and greatest stuff. Everybody's all like, oh, I gotta put a disc brake front end under this because, you know, it's a driver. I gotta put power steering in it. Gotta put this, gotta put that. No, you don't. This car is completely stock, other than, like I said earlier, it's got electric wipers and a 12-volt conversion. That's it. And the only reason it even has those is because when I got the car, it didn't have wipers. And it was easier to get the electric wiper kit than it was to source all the original vacuum wipers and rebuild it. And you don't need that stuff. Yeah, it makes it a little more comfortable, but it doesn't, I mean, they're still drivable the way they are. A lot of people, you know, you got to give credit to, like, these cars weren't built by Neanderthals. They're like, you know, when this car was built, nuclear bombs were already invented. You know, you could fly across the world in aircrafts and stuff. Like, just because the internet wasn't around yet and computers weren't around yet doesn't mean that people couldn't design and engineer stuff. So you don't need all that stuff to go drive your car. You just need to get in it and drive it. You just need to have the, you know, the will to want to do it and the attitude for it. So I really encourage you to take your old cars on road trips. It's a totally different experience. It's so fun. It's so rewarding, and the satisfaction when you get back home after, like, just hit 1,000 kilometers in the wintertime and made it home and no problems at all. That's so, you know, as a mechanic that, you know, restores cars and works on cars, it's so satisfying, you know, like you really accomplished something. So anyways, we did not bring our luggage with us. Shannon forgot the suitcase on the kitchen table when we raced out the door Friday morning. So I haven't changed my clothes in 3 days now. We did stop and we bought some socks in a really questionable part of Portland. It's the only time in my life I've had to get somebody to come unlock the cabinet to get socks out. So we did get socks and underwear, but I'd really like to change my shirt. And I'm going to use this as a segue to make sure to check out the website, lgspeedcustom.com. They got an LG Speed and Custom shirt and stickers and stuff like that. Always appreciate the support. And yeah, I'm going to go take a nap now. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks to Hot Rod Hullabaloo for the soundtrack on this fantastic road trip extravaganza. And we'll see you later. I'm tired. Nap time.